And we're back. 2025. First episode of the year. Not filmed in this year, but that's because, it was meant to come out on Boxing Day. But when you get close to that time of year, the bender begins. And when it's time to send it, just like all them presents, you got to send them. They just got to go. They got to get out the door and get it done. But back to the podcast episode. This episode we had on Jack Langstaff. Oh, yeah. And it was odd. Plenty of different subjects to speak about. We spoke about how we drove ourselves to our driving tests, how marketing affects us, my dumb tattoo ideas, and we discussed if we should eat human meat. Oh, yeah. Tasty.
My grandma was on... Her kidneys failed for whatever reason, and then she was on dialysis for 20 years, which is...
That's way past the...
That's 20 times longer than someone should be alive on dialysis.
Yeah.
So she was dying every year. So we'd have to go, oh, well, she's about to die. Let's go back. And that happened
She just kept going.
20 years, yeah.
Did she even need dialysis?
Well, she's dead, so...
Yeah, but for 20 years, I'm kind of thinking, did you really need your blood transfused every year?
I think the budget's tight enough on the NHS so they really only give out dialysis to those who need it at this point. And at the end, they were like, do you really? Someone else surely has
this time.
Yeah, exactly right.
Dialysis is wild. That's they fucking just completely rechange your blood over.
Yeah, you get your blood cleaned once a week. It's like an oil change.
That is
Pretty much.
fucking wild. Like, what kind of life are you living if you're getting your blood changed every week?
A very boring one. There's a lot of time sat around a hospital where you're just waiting for your blood to fill up.
Do you reckon you get like a high straight after?
Yeah, you got some fresh blood going on.
It would be like, cool,
like, ooh,
let's fucking go. That came from a kid.
Ready to seize the day afterwards. Exactly right. Yeah.
You would think so. And then by the end of it, it's all like sepsis in and you're like, fucking please get it out of me. I'm about to die.
Yeah, you're like a Toyota Camry by the end of it. It's still chugging along with some old blood.
It's like my car, my Mazda 3. I do not change the oil in that thing. And that bastard, I didn't service it for 100,000 Ks.
God. It'll be over soon. You can't just do that to a car.
Oh, no, I've serviced it now.
Okay.
But it's done 360,000.
That's impressive.
Oh, yeah. Especially considering the last 100 was no service. I just didn't have any money for ages. And I was just like, sorry, bruv. You're just going to keep on going. And it did.
See, there's something about Japanese cars that have a soul, a spirit to them, where they just keep on going no matter what. Like Hondas are my thing now.
Yeah. I don't know why anyone would buy any other car knowing that you can not service it for 10 times the amount of time you wouldn't have to service it. And it still keeps going.
Well, there's a rhetoric in engineering where the Germans have a very specific plan for how you look after a car. And if you do these things and maintain this car in the correct way, then it will work perfectly for 5 million kilometers. Whereas Japanese realize you're not going to service it. You're not going to do any of these things. So we're going to cater to that market of buying a car for your daughter's uni graduation where she's just not going to look after it whatsoever and just neglect it.
Let's give you a car that lasts.
Yep. Hence,
that's good making.
Yeah.
Good
the Honda Jazz.
Like a good sword.
Speaking of which, where'd you get the sword? That's pretty cool.
One of the guests, Lewis Kotlar's, bring it in.
Nice.
We didn't mention it on the pod. I just kind of like put it in there and I was like, that's there now.
Well,
that's where Hannibal Lecter came from. Not that. That's mine. And that was this was actually my gear knob of my first car once I got my license. So I drove before I got my license, but that's the one I had my license in. That was on my gear stick of my van that I had, which I'd spray painted black and bought tint off eBay and put on my windows. And I passed the driving test in that van.
Wow.
And I drove myself to the driving place. And they're like, how'd you get here? And I was like, oh, my mate dropped me off. He went to the shops. And then I got my car and left after I passed my driving test.
I also drove myself to my driving test. I had a Holden Jackaroo 2002, which is, it was a beast in terms of like a lift. It was 4 inches higher than it normally should be, which is illegal in several states. And when I rocked up, it was as the driving instructor was coming out of the building for a bunch of other people lined up for their driving test. And as usual, I was late. And they were calling out my name as I popped out the car on my own to introduce myself. And I had 2 other failures of driving tests before I took that one. And on that one, he was blaming the car the entire time. That guy in Mirrabooka.
That's all right.
Yeah. He, for all intents and purposes, totally shouldn't have my license. But he took mercy on me that day. And that's why I'm allowed to drive today.
He probably was like, he's going to drive anyway. Might as well just give him it.
That's true. At least hold him accountable for his actions. Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's not going to run away from the cops if he's got a license. But if you don't have a license, you are. Like, you can't catch me, motherfucker. It's not like I have a license anyway. Get out of here.
That's a good point. I should have never got the license, Darcy. You're right. I've been sucked in now. Yeah.
You're in the system now. Now you got to pay for it.
Yeah, I was off the grid. I was free before. Yeah. It's true.
You were a free-off, Dobby. Yeah. A free-off. That was a Harry Potter reference.
Completely went over my head. I've seen Harry Potter. I'm not that culturally out of touch. But
is that little fucking elf thing?
Dobby. Oh, a free elf.
Free elf Dobby.
I misheard you.
I seen something the other day. What the fuck was it? And it was making me piss. They put Dobby in something else where he was like getting raped. But he wasn't actually getting raped. He was like running away. It's like, I'm a free elf, Dobby. I'm a free elf. It was someone like hunting him down. And I was like, hey.
Yeah, and then he put a sock in it.
Yeah. There was that dude. Gonna get him. Oh, fuck. That was great. So what made you fucking decide it'd be a great idea to tell sick fuck jokes on stage?
I think it was a good idea because I was seeing Shane Gillis come back from being cancelled. And I was like, it's possible. Someone can make incorrect comments and then win back the audience after having lost them.
So Gillis was the motivation. Interesting. Who was like the first comedian you ever watched and you were like, man, I fucking wish I could do that?
Eddie Izzard.
Eddie Izzard, okay.
Yeah. Eddie Izzard, and then I'd listen to him in my sleep as a kid. I'd have Eddie Izzard on repeat.
Like just a CD or something?
Yeah, I had a PSP with all of the Eddie Izzard stand-up downloaded on it. And I just listened to that in my sleep. Constant Eddie Izzard.
So you just have some secret knowledge in there.
Yeah, but I was asleep for half of it, so I listened to a joke and I'm like, oh, that's really good. It sounds very familiar.
You can learn in your sleep.
Really?
That's a thing, supposedly.
Can you give an example? Like, have you learned anything in your sleep?
No, I've never done it that I know of. But I had some neuroscientists on there and they said that's a thing. And I'd read a study on it once before. Yeah. But it's one of those, it's not an experiment I've tested because like for me to go to sleep, I watch shit. Because I kind of have to like overload my brain to pass out. Otherwise, I'll just like start spiraling with thoughts and I'll think about too much shit. And then I'll be like, oh, I've got to do stuff now.
Right.
And then like, oh, I've got to go to sleep because I need to fucking function tomorrow. So I'm like, if I watch something that's like interesting, but not really interesting, I'll be like, all right, that kind of grabs my attention enough. And I'll think about other stuff, but I won't be thinking about stuff enough to be like in a mode to go do something about it. So I kind of like, I guess it's like meditating in some really fucked up way, but it just like, I guess it's like binaural beats. It just like waves into a form of sleep. Yeah. It works.
Yeah. See, I have the ability to just force myself to sleep in circumstances which would otherwise not allow it. But
if I'm tired, I can. But if it's like a normal night, nah. I'm like, you need to go do shit. There's shit to be done.
Yeah.
So I've got countless lists of things that I want to do at any point in time. So it's like, why are you sleeping when there's this to do? And you're like, oh yeah. And then I'll think about it or I'll start writing a joke and they'll be like, fuck, shut up and go to bed, cunt.
I think my body's adapted to just have the absolute bare minimum when it comes to sleep. I don't think I've actually entered REM sleep in months. Like it's why I look like this. But
How much do you sleep? Like how many hours a night?
Between 4 and 6 hours.
Oh, that's fine.
Night. Is it?
Yeah.
Like, what happened to that 8 number? This magical 8
I don't believe that's true.
Okay.
I used to sleep 6 religiously. I sleep 8 so I can have dreams.
Yeah.
If I sleep 6, I don't dream, but I'm fine. Like I can function perfectly well. Sometimes even better. If I eat just meat, I will sleep 7. There's no way I can sleep 8. Like, there's no fucking way. My body just goes, you are awake, bro. Get up. Go do.
Have you done this carnivore diet
Yeah.
before? How long for?
3 months where I was like religious, which was good. And then I have a sugar addiction.
As do I.
It's fucking such a pain in the ass. I always slip back in. The last time I fell out of it was because I couldn't drink without getting like a fucking heinous hangover. Like, I was drinking straight alcohol, and one time I drank half a bottle, which is fine. I can do that any night of the week, not a problem. And I woke up and was like, "Why I gotta move?" Like, couldn't fucking move. I was like, I don't know why I'm so dead. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what is going on here? And then I ate some food, and I come good. But I didn't, I was like, I need just whatever, and I just Uber eated food to my house. So it ended up being like Hungry Jack's, because I was like, I just can't fucking make shit. And I was like, I'm not going to pick, I'm just going to eat because I'm dying. And that came good. And I was like, oh, okay. And then that happened like 4 weeks later again. And I was like, why is this happening? And then it happened a couple more times. And I was like, what did I eat that day? And it's when I just eaten like more eggs in the day than I had other stuff. So I don't know. And then every time I've tested it now, I'll just be like, what if I just drink with like sugar in the drink, and then that slips into a consistent thing.
See, when I stopped drinking, which was a year ago now, then the way I stopped was eating a diet of lamb and Coca-Cola and banana smoothies. Got me out of it by just, replacing the desire for alcohol. You know, when you have a hard day at work, especially during summer, and you're like, a cold beer now would be lovely.
I don't get that.
No?
Nah.
You just
I don't drink every day.
Oh, okay.
I'm a compulsive binge drinker.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's like I drink to send it.
Right.
Yeah.
Rather than just, a nice acceptable level of moderately buzzed.
Nah.
No.
Nah.
Fair enough.
That's
just
just
going to do it right.
Yeah, that's like, I don't know. I can be more like, I'll have a couple now, but I don't feel it.
Right.
Like, I don't feel 3 drinks at all. It's like drinking Coke.
Fair enough.
Does nothing to me.
Yeah. I did get that with drinking, where it was like, who has one beer and then calls it a night there? Like, one beer is a ridiculously small amount to drink.
Well, now I'll do that as like if it's with somebody, like they're having a drink, so I don't make them feel like they're a fucking loner.
True.
That's it. If it's like, oh, I'm having a drink with you, so you don't feel like you have a fucking problem, that's the only reason I'll do it.
Yeah, now I explicitly make it so other people feel like they have a problem when I'm around them. It's like, oh, look at me and my sobriety. It's more obnoxious than being drunk. Yeah.
I think I know people that feel uncomfortable if they don't have alcohol when other people have alcohol. I don't give a fuck. Like, you're like, who cares? Why am I drinking? But I know some people, like, if it's me and one other person and they're like, I'm getting a drink, and I was like, all right, I'll get one. Because I know they're just going to be like, come on, man. You're like, whatever, can I just...
Well, it's a culture, isn't it? So
Yeah.
people want to feel embraced in said culture, like any other culture. It just so happens that this one revolves around drinking. So when most people interact with one another, it's like, well, bust out the booze.
Drinking and food.
Yes. Yeah, well, we can't live without food. That's not really a culture. You can have a cultural element to food.
Eating shitty food as a celebration, like sugar.
Right. Yeah, correct you are.
I'm going to try and like convince my kids this year to quit sugar.
It's a hard sell.
Oh, yeah. That's why I think it's so good. Like a 10-year-old, well, they'll be old next year, 10, 8, and 7. And be like, hey, guys, this shit's bad. Let's not do it. Like, they already know it's bad. I've already got them on board understanding that sugar's shit, but, like, not really why. They're just like, yeah, look, that shouldn't be eaten all the time. But I'm going to say it and be like, look, when you're with me, let's just not eat this shit at all. Let's dodge it completely. Let's void it from food.
See, my parents had a different attitude towards sugar, whereas like, oh, you're all miserable and tired after a long day at school. Here, have some chocolate.
Yeah.
That'll perk you back up.
That's
back in the swing of things.
That's a bad thing to do.
It's exactly right. And it gets you into the habit of like, oh, I feel bad after a long day of doing X, Y, Z.
Let's do
Time
this as a
to
reward.
have little external feel good.
Yeah.
Something or other. Yeah.
But then, you're attaching like, let's do shit with something shit.
Yeah.
Exactly. So the worst thing, that's what I'm like, man. I used to drink Coke out of a fucking sippy bottle when I was a baby. Like, I got gifted a fucking sugar addiction as a child, like as a baby. Like, here, drink Coke. I have no idea why anyone would give a baby Coke. What are you thinking?
My aunt once gave me flat Coke as a remedy for when you're sick.
Oh, like flat lemonade?
I've never heard of this, except through her when I was 5
hangovers.
years old.
Flat lemonade for hangovers.
Surely just hydration. Oh, the sugar would help, but I don't know why the flat.
I honestly have no idea why. It's just, I know that's a thing. Flat lemonade for hangovers. I don't do it. I think it's stupid, but it's a thing. Maybe it's an English thing. I don't fucking know. Flat Coke, flat lemonade, be the same thing.
Yeah, potentially.
Do you know what's better for being sick? Being tough.
Having an immune system is fantastic.
That helps. That helps, yeah. It's being strong and be like, I'm not sick. I am better than sickness.
Yeah. My nan also gave me shitty health advice. I think it's a recurring theme with the English that they just give shit health advice.
I think they just didn't know better.
I think there's maybe some truth to her sentiments, though, where she's like, if you smoke cigarettes, it'll clear out all the germs from your lungs.
Yeah.
Which is true. Now I'm a smoker.
I'm
And
not doubting that for any. You're killing everything. It's like chemo.
exactly right. Just fumigating it like a bug bomb.
Yeah. What a fucking great justification for smoking ciggies. I'm just fuming it out. Killing all the fucking bugs in there.
But now I don't know when I'm sick. I'm just a constant,
Constantly.
underlying level of sick. Yeah.
Fuck. That's as dumb as me. I've done some pretty stupid shit, and that's the justification I've created.
Well, I started when I was 12, so
Started smoking when you were 12.
that's exactly right.
What was the first cigarette? What made you go like, that's it? Yeah, I'm going to do that.
My parents had a lot of guests come over from the UK, and that eventually turned into couch surfers randomly living in our home, like French backpackers, for some reason. And Greg and Flo were some French backpacker friends that were mutual friends of ours. Somehow ended up in our house on our couch.
I reckon your parents were swingers, bro. Yeah, Greg and Flo, the backpackers that were French. French makes me feel like they were fucking.
They were good-looking guys. I don't know what's going on there, but
Flo was a dude.
Greg and Flo were both dudes.
I thought Flo was a chick.
No, Greg and Flo, both men,
okay.
French men.
Okay, now I'll take it back now.
Maybe they were just, charitable.
Yeah, that sounds more like they just had their mates around. I thought it was a couple, Greg and Flo.
No.
Flo was a bloke.
Flo was a bloke, yeah.
Yeah.
But
I wonder if he went with the flow when someone started touching him.
I'll leave that up to your filthy imagination, Darcy. But I stole a pack of Marlboro Reds from their luggage as a kid because I was like, let's see what this whole smoking thing is about. And I smoked half of one, got scared, and then put it out in the garden, and then put it to rest for a little while.
So it was literally, you were just like, what's this about? I'm going to join in.
And then I was like, this is a harrowing addiction that I'm about to participate in. Let's put this away for a little while.
Did you think bad stuff about it when you were younger? Or did you think like it was, like, were you ever like, this is a bad thing I should be doing? Or it's like, this everyone's doing it, this is cool, this is going to kill me? Like, did you have any of those ideas?
I think I was aware of the fact that it was addictive, but I always thought that it smelled great.
You thought it smelled great.
Yeah, always liked the smell of cigarettes.
Fuck, okay. You might be the first person I've ever heard say that.
Yeah.
But I've heard people say that about weed, so like, and I don't like the smell of weed either.
Neither do I. It's gross.
Yeah.
It's very gross.
But I think cigarettes smell fucked. I smell, they're like, I'm like, what? Why is that air?
See, I think it's a nostalgic charm to them. But when I haven't smoked a cigarette in a while and I smell someone else who has been smoking, I'm like, oh, that's disgusting. See, someone smelling of cigarettes and smelling a lit cigarette are two very different things. Like being in your mum's mate's car and, you're like, oh, Lord, it's got an orange tinge to everything. There's tar everywhere.
Yeah.
I think smoking inside is disgusting. I don't do that.
That's fucked.
Except on the toilet.
My mate bought a house, right? And the fucking sill in his laundry had black tar dripping out of it because they smoked so much in the house. And I was like, dude, that is wild.
Yeah. I have a friend who has an uncle, and his uncle moved out of his house and left the house to my friend. And we had the job of cleaning it out together after his chain-smoking aunt had been living there for 60 years. And she had a habit of smoking whilst cooking. and it meant
What
that,
the fuck? That's like the worst time to smoke.
It really is. What are you doing? Like ashing, there's ash going absolutely everywhere inside the kitchen.
Well, you're cooking all this stuff that could smell nice, and you're just like, fuck it, let's dead these senses.
But where the extraction fan would be meant there was just this layer of tar, similar to what would kill a woolly mammoth if they fell into it.
Yeah.
It was fantastic, the smell that came off of that. A very nostalgic.
Scraping it off. Oh, that's
Treacle.
fuck it. Yeah, that would have been foul.
Yeah. And all this talk has got me really primed up for a cigarette. I'm going to go for a cigarette. Right back.
And we're back.
We're beautiful. And so comedy, that's where we met, isn't it, Darcy?
Yes.
And I have nothing to say about comedy.
Do you remember my first set you ever seen me do? Did I make an impression?
I remember thinking that was horribly offensive, and it worked, sort of, but it was on a gong show where you got gonged.
I get gonged every gong show.
There you go. I managed to make it through a couple of gong shows, but in terms of... For those who don't know, the gong show is where you have 3 minutes.
They know.
They know?
They know.
You have 3 minutes to essentially say your material, win over the audience, and if you don't do that, then you get gonged and sent off stage.
It's not even winning over the audience. It's fucking making sure that everyone in the audience likes you.
Yeah.
Not the whole... Like, if you get 5 to 7 plates, you're fucked. That's the number, 5 to 7.
Right.
Yeah. So that's where I'm like, fuck you. But yes, I'm trying to think what would have been the first one. Highly offensive, but worked. Yeah, that's standard. That's pretty much the gong for me. Yeah. Laughs and plates at the same time.
But I think a divided audience is fun to work with because you can eventually win them over if you have enough time. But it's a very good baptism of fire to do 3 minutes.
Well, it's like, can you make everyone happy? That's the... I'm sure there's a way I can do it. I just haven't figured it out yet. I think just every time I kind of get close, I do something weirder. I used to really turn.
Right.
I used to, if I seen one plate up, I'd be like, that's it. You're copping a real bad joke now, and just go fucking scorched earth. And now I'm like, all right, try and win them back. Don't just go scorched earth and tell them the next month's fuck this thing. Yeah,
but the thing with me is that I'm not good at comedy yet. I am just giving it my best shot and trying things to make it work. In fact, I'm so bad that in order to get spots, I've just been making my own shows.
That's the trick.
Yes. I think that giving yourself the opportunity rather than waiting for someone else to give it for you.
That is comedy.
Yeah.
That's how it works. If you don't go out and make spots, then you just wait for everyone else to decide if you're good enough.
Yep.
You're not going to get the training you need.
Exactly right. And stage time is key when it comes to that, so I'm just trying to expose myself.
Yeah.
For as much stage time as humanly possible.
Yeah, because you can't get a fuck ton unless you want to torture some poor souls and be like, I've got 10 people in a room. Hear me try 60 minutes worth of fucking jokes. Then you're trying to remember 60 minutes. You're like, fuck, this is even harder. You've got to build it bit by bit, brick by brick. Figure it out.
I actually think that's a good idea. The whole 60 minutes whilst not having 60 minutes. And then just holding the audience hostage for 60 minutes. They're going to be disgruntled. But by the end of it, if you do that for a month, every single night...
I don't know how you're going to get 10 people in every night for a month and hold them hostage for 60 minutes.
Well, here's what you do. You go around during Fringe...
You're going to pay cunts?
No. Heavens no, Darcy. They're going to pay me. What you do is you go around with flyers during Fringe, handing them out. And there's no way associated with Fringe. You just say, come see Jack Langstaff Worldwide tonight at this location. And they go, oh, look at this. It's a show. It's during Fringe. It must be associated in some way. Whereas, no, I don't think there's any reason.
But you could do the same thing even if you're with Fringe or not.
Yeah,
you just have to pay some stupid fees. There's no, and this is a hot tip for anyone that's thinking about doing a Fringe show. There's no one can stop you. You can just do it. It's just a matter of fucking admin shit. No one's going, you can't do a Fringe show. And if they are, they're just cunts. Because realistically, they don't, there's no one to stop anyone from doing it. There's just dickheads saying you can't do it. Or people being like, don't do it. You can do whatever you want. At the end of the day, it's long-term brand recognition, right? You sucker some cunts into a show, and you eat dick, they're never going to watch you again.
That's fine. They don't have to. But I think that there's some merit in not being associated with a wider body. I don't see why I have to be associated with Fringe. I think that
You don't have to be, but like it's just, there's no difference.
yeah,
I don't think Fringe is going to help you sell tickets. I don't think the only difference between doing it at Fringe and outside of Fringe is just access to venues and stuff like that. You know, and like there is people in the city going to watch shows because it's Fringe, and they're willing to watch. They're willing to take a chance on shit.
Yeah,
That's what Fringe is most. Is like, ooh, we'll chance this, and they're like, $20. That sucked dick. Oh well, we learned a lesson today.
see, that's what I think is wrong. Holding the audience hostage, especially on a late show.
People will leave.
People's money is what's, I think, especially during these dark, hard times. I don't want to charge someone more than $10 for a ticket of anything that has my face on it, because I think that I'd just be ripping people off. If I'm there to pay the venue, people associated with it, and eat the next day and pay for my cigarettes.
Yeah.
In terms of just putting it out there as an experiment to see what could work, or kind of a boot camp in a way, where if you do an hour show every single night for a month, it'll be terrible at the start, but by the end of that month, you'll have an hour.
I don't know if you'll have an hour. You might have done an hour. That's a lot. Like being on stage for an hour and not having material is like, fuck. I'd be curious to see. I'd watch just because you've got to see, like, I've been in spots where I'm on stage on like a 10-minute set earlier and you're like, I'm out of material. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And you kind of like got to come up with shit. And if you can't come up, you fuck. So I think for 50 minutes, 60 minutes, all off the top of your head as a solo. If it was a podcast, I feel like it's easy because you got someone to bounce from.
Yeah.
But like as a solo, I think I would, it's a rough one.
It would be rough, but
Doesn't mean don't do it, just...
The way to do it, I think, is keep up with current events, because that way you don't have to necessarily rely on intrinsic creativity for material, because the world is constantly giving it to you. If you have kind of, I don't know, a live news show in front of an audience called JD Langstaff Worldwide, then you'll have the opportunity to just cover news as it's occurring throughout that month, and then you have to be spontaneous when it comes to those current events hitting you thick and
Being
fast.
a news presenter, mate.
I think so. But if it's funny, then it's comedy, then, isn't it?
Yeah, no.
If it's live, then it's a show.
Yeah.
So
I'm not a... I want to write universal jokes. That's how I try and write it at the moment.
timeless jokes.
Yeah, timeless, universal, timeless. So they can be around and you can have them in the back of your head, right? Remember how fucking weird that idea was?
Right.
Yeah. Because I don't really like looking at the news. It pisses me off and it's always biased, so I fucking hate it. It's like I hate seeing an opinion that's absolutely dog shit.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, that's fucking just annoyed me. And then I would just be pissed off about something and I don't want to be.
I think when I read the news, I'm picking it apart as a propaganda machine.
Well, and that annoys me. It annoys me that I have to even consider doing that.
Yeah, but I like being annoyed sometimes. It's why I, drive on the freeway and...
Drive on the freeway because it gets where I want to go.
But I think that there's some merit in not living in an echo chamber and exposing yourself to opinions that you don't agree with. So...
Well, I wouldn't say I live in an echo chamber. I just don't look at any news. Like, I don't really like looking at any news.
It's a chamber nonetheless, then. You've kind of reserved yourself to a gilded cage where you don't have...
Because I want information. I just don't want news. You know what I mean? Like, I don't consider information news. I consider news like current event bullshit.
Right.
Like, I try and avoid sensationalist current event crap.
Right.
Like, but finding out information on something that's happened or something going on or a science fucking thing or like discussing an idea, dope. But like the Kardashians getting married, get the fuck out of my face. I don't care.
Yeah, there is sensationalism which occurs with things like political figures and, trends, and
It's pointless shit.
yeah, it's best to steer clear away from all of that. I think it's best to focus on ideas and movements rather than just events, like singular occurring events or individuals within.
Well,
said
just like
events.
pointless people.
Yeah.
Pointless people is my biggest hate. Like some celebrity Why are they a celebrity? Like, the royal family, that pisses me off that they're like, cool. They're cunts. They should be dead.
Case by case basis on that one.
I just don't care for any of them. I don't think that this is they're like rock stars. And you're like, that annoys me. Kardashians and all that shit. She sucked some dick and now she's got businesses. Cool, don't care. Like, and they're not giving out some kind of like glorious information that's helping any human being get smarter or better. They're just like, just know this makeup made me feel stupid today and now my ass is massive. Fuck off, don't care. But if you've got like some like fucking genius who won a Nobel Prize and they've got some shit to say, I'm like, I want to hear it. I might not understand it at first, but like, I'll hear that.
I think there's lessons to learn from even the Kardashians, where you can see what was the propaganda machine trying to achieve by
Distraction.
throwing them into fame. I don't think it's as much as distraction as it is kind of laying the groundwork for allowing people to just haul themselves out. I think you can haul yourself out to a certain capacity, whether it's at work.
You're going conspiracy on this.
Possibly.
But like, if we get the Kardashians making money off sucking dick, then we can convince OnlyFans to become a thing and everyone will start doing it.
Well, it worked, didn't it?
I wouldn't. I mean, it's a fun conspiracy, but I think it's less pre-planned. I think it's opportunistic, if anything. Like, fucking Pamela Anderson's sex tape got leaked. Then people that weren't stars were like, if I get caught doing this and leak a sex tape, I can get famous. Kardashians did that. And then porn was already like exploitive, making money. And then someone was like, all right, I don't want to be exploitive, making money in porn. What if we put it back in the hands of the creator, but we take our share, so we're still making money out of it, but we have to do less work, and all we have to do is admin on the fucking digital side of things? That's how I think that happened.
Well, it's kind of similar to technology, how with the creation of smartphones, you've put computers that used to be just for nerds. Like, up until the early 2000s, computers were strictly relegated to nerds. Like, have you read much early 2000s forums, like when the wild west of the internet, between like 2005 to 7? Yeah, it was proper nerds. And making it more widely accessible has turned the internet into schlock, where it's just full of awful clickbait and content that should have never been released in the first place. It's made it too widely accessible for people to haul themselves out in a different capacity. It's not strictly sexual.
I don't think you shouldn't say it shouldn't be released, because if it's getting watched, if people, as boring as we might think it is, or as shithouse as we might think it is, are people tuning into it, then...
Well, like Keeping Up with the Kardashians or all that porn.
Yeah.
You know?
Hate it, but people are tuning into it. Like, there's content creators... Actually, there's a really funny line that gets said quite a bit online. If you make a short that some cunt thinks that they're a genius and write this hell funny joke under it, they should make podcasting equipment more expensive. And I'm like, so original, dude. When I used to knock doors and sell Foxtel, do you know how many times I'd hear the same 4 fucking jokes? Oh, I'd never get anything from Rupert Murdoch. He fucking owns everything. It's like, he also owns fucking Telstra. So, he owns the fucking phone lines. You're going to get rid of a phone, you stupid cunt? Fuck off. Like, people would just say the same repetitive shit. And now this happens online where like someone's like, make podcast equipment more expensive. It's like, that is such a dumb line. But they think that they're being creative on top of the thing that someone else is trying to be creative. But it's like, if you were to say none of that should be there, the government's going to get control and make us all just watch fucking Channel 7 News again.
As someone who's worked in sales, do you tune out of advertising or when you're being sold something immediately?
I don't tune out to it.
Okay.
I tune in.
Right.
Because I want to see how they're doing it.
I see.
Yeah. I love it. Because it's like, how'd you get that? What the fuck made you think I want to buy that? Like, when I'll leave all my fucking targeting shit on. Like, get me. Come on. See what you can sell me, motherfuckers. And then I'll get some weird ad and I'm like, what? What was I doing to get that? What were you fucking what did I get related to get these things sent to me? When fucking Temu first came out, they were advertising some odd shit to me. I remember just screenshotting it being like, what the fuck is this? And why am I getting sent it?
See, I do things to throw off the algorithm, so it doesn't really know what to sell me at any given time. So I'm liking things on Facebook like affordable housing in Israel. And
I don't know if the liking is so much so that links a lot of it to. I found when I was working in digital marketing for 6 months, a lot of it would just be totally linked to like who you know and what you collectively look at. So like if you've got like 10 friends and your devices are always together and you all look at barbecues, then you're all going to get like barbecue related shit and shit that they think big groups of people that do barbecues will look at. But then if like half of you are looking at like G-strings, then the other half are going to start copping G-strings as well because they're like, well, these half are looking at this. This half is going to like it because they're all mates. It's like, have you ever thought your phone's listening to you?
I don't think. I know it's listening to me because we can talk about...
We know it's listening to it, but there's like a little trick on top of that, how they definitely get you. So it's like if you're talking to someone who's been thinking about something and they've been not subconsciously like probably getting stuff planted to them, and then you hang out with them and then they bring it up and they're like, fuck, wasn't even looking at it before, wasn't even thinking about it, now I'm seeing it. It's like, and then you start seeing it because they mentioned it, because you've been near each other and your phones like bounce off each other. Yeah, that's how much fucking data they're collecting, even if they're not collecting your voice.
Well, they've already got things like keystrokes and what you actually look at, where your eyes are going, because the camera's on all the time. So it has ways of tracking what piques your interest and what doesn't. But in terms of your phone listening into you, I think it would be a fun experiment to, mention a certain product and then see how long it takes for it to pop up.
Some shit never comes.
In advertising.
I'm trying to get it to fucking advertise me certain shit and it won't.
Such as? Oh, no, we shouldn't mention other products. They don't pay us enough for that.
No, not yet. Don't pay us anything. No, there's been a few things I've tested where I'm like, I'm trying to find something actively and not getting anything for it. And I'm like, why is this so hard to get? It's kind of annoying. In fact, something I was trying to buy this morning, hell pissed me off that I couldn't get, was lion's mane mushroom. So frustrating.
Lion's mane mushroom. Is that the neurotropic one that helps regenerate your brain?
It's meant to taste like meat too. Yeah, it's hell good for memory. So I was like, all right, it tastes like meat and it's good for memory. I want some of that.
I might have to try that.
Yeah. There's a place in Perth. And I was like, I can buy 100 grams and find out if it's good.
Nice.
And I kept trying and the website wasn't working. So now I don't have any fucking mushroom.
Yep. Going Deep by Darcy Kavanagh, brought to you by Lion's Mane Mushroom.
No, that's like saying brought to you by cows.
Brought to you by grass. Yeah.
Brought to you by a naturally growing thing that will make your brain better. Yeah, I've seen someone make a steak out of one. Like they literally tried to make it into a steak. And I was like, all right, I'm in. I'll give that a go. That sounds like a cool idea.
Right.
Yeah.
So in terms of being advertised and sold things, I often just tune out as soon as an advertisement comes on. Like it just goes into a weird part of my brain where people are colorblind. They can't see the color red. That's happening to me whenever I'm exposed to it.
Do you reckon like subconsciously gets in there then?
No, because I don't.
Yeah, but if you're not consciously paying attention, you might subconsciously be paying attention. Like learning stuff in your sleep.
Potentially. But then again, I just buy the same products over and over and over again.
Always
once I find something, like I ate porridge, which is just oats and cut up banana for 10 years, 15 years, just every single morning.
Still?
Over and over again. Yep, still. Just have my oats. If good enough for horses, good enough for me. And I'm happy with that. I'm happy
oats
with
and
consistency. Yes, that is what keeps me going. Oats, milk, and ciggies.
Oats, milk, and ciggies. Fuck.
Without that combination.
That's an English diet.
It is, yeah. No, the English eat like the Germans are still flying overhead.
What's that?
The English eat like the Germans are still flying overhead.
I actually watched a video on depression foods, like the foods they were serving in the depression. Some of them were fucking pretty funny. Like there was one, I was like goulash. I was like, I'll make that. Just anyway, I was like, I didn't realize that was a fucking depression era food. I was like, that's just cheap, tasty food. But there was this other one where it was like, it looked like cunts had poured milk on top of like polonian bread.
Right.
And I was like, that looks nasty.
Surely you've had some dark times where you've had to live off some depression food, like tins of sardines and rice was my go-to.
I have lived off food that was more depression era food than the shit in the depression era food video I watched.
Right.
Like, I was like, I ate 2-minute noodles, cunt, for like a week, multiple times. That's more depression era food than fucking this shit you're making. That shit's got meat in it, cunt. You know what it's like just to eat fucking whatever the fuck noodles are?
Yeah.
Just a little bit of egg, a little bit of fucking wheat and flour, or just flour. Fucked. And some dust on it to make it taste good.
It's true. I mean, once you learn about having dry noodles with the sauce added on afterwards, you feel like you've achieved
Sauce?
a
No
culturally afterwards.
sauce.
What, you just use the powder,
Just dust.
just the dust. You'd leave the soy, the oil, and the
Oh,
sambal.
you're talking about me going, nah, I was having Maggi 2-minute chicken
Oh,
noodles.
no. Oh, dark times
Yeah,
then.
actual
Dark
nasty.
times. Oh, yeah, that's really bad.
Filth, man.
That's really, really bad.
Filth.
I forget you're Australian sometimes, yeah. You're very accepting of these things as Australians when it comes to, you know, just eating a condiment or...
Dude, I was just a poor shithead kid, dude. I used to eat bread. Just bread. No butter, just bread. Raw bread, uncooked.
For me, it was tuna sandwiches was my go-to.
Yeah, I know people that eat that.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of tuna.
I ate so much tuna, I gave myself mercury poisoning.
That's... How did you not die?
Well, I switched to sardines. I figured out if you have a fish that has a larger lifespan in the ocean, it's picking up more mercury during all of that time. If you go for a fish with a shorter lifespan...
Yeah, but what happened when you got mercury poisoning? What happened?
Oh, you get a weird metallic taste in your mouth, you get a sore neck, your thyroid's dealing with a lot, and you figure out, like, you get a stiff jaw. That's another thing.
Sure you didn't have tetanus?
Pretty sure. I got my tetanus shot in 2021.
So did you go to the doctor and they were like, hey... Or you were just like self-diagnosed mercury poisoning?
Self-diagnosed, decided to stop eating as much tuna as I was.
Yeah, and you just ate sardines instead.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah. I recently found out that sardines don't have heads on in the can. I didn't know that.
This shows how few sardines you've eaten. Not really dark times for Darcy over here.
Definitely haven't eaten sardines. That's...
Ever?
Nah.
I like it,
Man,
Dean.
in my head, they were full fish. They were them little fish you get out of fucking like creeks and shit. Like when I was like a little kid, you have them like tadpole-looking motherfuckers floating through. I thought that's what was in a sardine can. And I was like, no, I'm not eating that. That's fucking disgusting. I've smelt them and I was like, bah, no thanks. So in my head, literally, I think 2 weeks ago, someone was like, I was like, how do you even eat sardines, dude? They've got fucking their heads on them and shit. Isn't that fucking gross? And they're like, they don't have their heads on them. And I was like, what? I was like, isn't it the whole fish? He's like, they don't even have the tails on. And I was like, huh? So, yeah, the more you know.
I was in a health kick in 2023 where I was trying to gain as much weight as possible whilst being broke, which is a bad combination.
Oh, that's pretty easy.
So,
I know how to do that.
Yeah, 5 tins of Deans a day. That's what you do. 5
you eat meat.
10 tins of sardines every single day.
Oh, bro, you just need to eat bread.
Yeah, but that's not going to be the best looking physique.
And drink oil.
Bread and oil.
Drink oil, dude.
It's like you're mopping up a plate on the inside of your body.
Sunflower seed oil, dude. You'll get fucking huge.
Yeah.
Real slippery, eh?
This is where you come for your health advice.
This is the opposite of health advice, dude. I'm talking about getting huge.
Yeah. I don't know if that's really the physique I was going for. You know, bread and oil. Yeah.
Oh, you said huge, so I was just like, what's the quickest way to get huge? Eat the most fucked shit on earth. Bread, oil, boom.
True. What's the heaviest you've ever weighed?
Me, I got like 103.
That's a pretty big.
Yeah, I'm not too far off that now.
Okay. I won't ask.
I'm 97.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't mind. If I'm fat, I'm fat. I call it. Because it's like, I'm not one of those fucking pussy cunts that's like, don't call me fat. I'm just plus size. Fuck off. You need to be called fat if you're a fat cunt. Because then you can be like, yeah, look, I need to do something about it. The less you just avoid this thing of like, oh, no, let's just like not be mean to fat people. They're just going to die faster then. You're not doing them a favor by like softening the cushion for them. They've got enough cushion on themselves already. They're fat. You fucking need to calm down. Can't stop eating food. Stop being like, oh, maybe I just got big bones. No, I can't. You got big gut and fucking fat tits and flabby underarms. Eat less food. Do some exercise. Just stop lying to yourself.
Yeah.
I don't know why the fuck we're doing this thing now where everyone's like, let's just accept fat cunts. Why is that a thing?
Well, they turn it into their identity. They don't realise that there's a skinny person on the inside trying to get out. And I think there's a major point nowadays selling people on identity where...
Yeah, but that's not, like, you're a fat cunt. That's not good for you. So, like, have we just fucking completely given up on health? Is that what's going on here?
I think it's worse than that. I think that there's an active effort to depopulate the planet, and part of that is encouraging negative health in people where it becomes, you know, a talking point where they can go, well, I identify as this person who just so happens to be a plus-size person. I was shamed out of being fat, and it worked.
Works.
Yeah, it does
Shame
work.
yourself daily. If you're fat, look in the mirror and be like, fuck, I don't need that. Like, fat isn't like a bonus. It's not a fucking... I feel like it can't be just people are this stupid. It can't be... It's got to be like, I'm lazy and I'm just finding an excuse. Like, it's got to be the same thing as like, yeah, your aunt being like, smoke cigarettes to clear out the bugs of the lungs and shit. Like, it's like, I'm just going to justify my shitty actions to myself with this fucking stupid thought. Like, I didn't brush my teeth for 7 years, right? Because I believed that brushing your teeth would just, like, I was drinking enough Coke that I would burn all the shit off with the Coke because the Coke was like an acid. Retarded, right? But I can sit there and go, that's dumb. I realised that was stupid and I know better now. But, like...
How old were you when this happened?
I did it from, like, 14, maybe 13 to 20.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was it like prime, you should be brushing your teeth years too? Like...
Yeah. Look, man, I fucking really didn't believe in a lot of people that I grew up with. Like, no one really taught me anything smart, so I just didn't believe anything anyone said.
Right.
And then came up with sick ideas like Coke's going to burn off the plaque. My teeth are surprisingly not that fucked from it.
Yeah, I'm surprised that you still have them. Like,
Yeah.
It's very impressive that you've managed to go 7 years, 6 years? Without...
It was 7, yeah.
7.
It was a very long time.
Wow.
Yeah.
7 years of stank.
Actually, that's not how it started. It started because I wanted my teeth to fall out. And then I justified the bullshit with my lies of, like, thinking that the Coke was burning it off. That was how I justified it. But originally I wanted my teeth to fall out because I hated them.
So you're just like, let's start fresh. Let's go from the beginning.
Yeah, just get dentures. That was what I had in my head.
Nice.
Yeah, didn't work. Don't have dentures. And don't really want to pay for them now, but I probably will at some point.
Testament to the strength of human teeth that you can put them through that.
Well, when I went to a dentist who I made mates with, and I was like, I'll come in and see you because they're probably fucked. I could feel holes in them and shit. Mm-hmm. And I got in there and he's like, this is not as bad as I was expecting. Were his exact words. I needed like 18 fillings when I went in. But given in mind I hadn't been to a dentist, I don't even know when I went to a dentist before that. Mm-hmm. Like when I was in fucking school, as a like primary school. After that, I went one time because I got punched in the mouth, and I had to get a cap put on, so I hit with knuckle dusters and chipped my tooth.
Ouch.
And then they were like, "Oh, we've got this other work to do," and I was like, "No." I actually went in there when I had that to get done. I was like, "Hey, can I get all my teeth capped with silver?" And he's just like, "Do you know how much that's going to cost?" And I was like, "No, that's why I'm asking you." He's like, "It's $1,000 a tooth." And I was like, yes, I'm not doing that. I wanted to look like Jaws from James Bond. I thought that was fucking cool. I'm so glad I didn't have more money when I was younger. I'd have some real shitty tattoos and I'd have some fucking stupid silver teeth.
You'd look right at home south of the river. You'd be fine.
Nah, I've had some bad tattoo ideas. I'm glad I didn't have money to fulfill them. Because they fucking suck.
What's the worst one?
The worst one? What was the worst one? Dagger like there was probably pretty just like...
Yeah, that's rough.
It probably would have like lasted because it was just like a hell old school like, yeah, fucking dagger, mom. And that would, I guess, would have been like an old school tat. But probably worse than that was like a watch. That was pretty dumb.
No, I think that would have aged quite well, actually. I actually like that idea.
It's like funny, like ironic. I did want to get a Coke label, a 1.25 Coke label tattooed on my leg as well. Like, just like around under my knee. And just like all the details of what was
All
on
the nutritional information as well.
Yeah, everything.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, because I used to drink fucking too much Coke.
Well, it's on your biomass now, so it's like,
Yeah, I was like, it is part of me. May as well make it part of me. That, I don't know what's worse, the watch or that or the dagger. They were all bad tattoos, but they were the worst. And if I had more money, I would have had them.
See, I like being a tattoo virgin. I had the idea from when I was 15 to get like a...
You're in the age group that tattoo virgin's like a thing now. I was like age group where getting tattoos was bad cunts. And then it like phased into like a normal cunt thing.
Yeah, and now I'm a unique individual as opposed to everyone who got a tattoo to make them a unique individual.
Be surprised you're not. There's a lot of you bare skin people out there now.
Yeah,
You're
growing in numbers.
You're in the age group of it. It's like a I don't want to look like every other dickhead. But it's like, I think there was a group of people who were offended. Like the older ages of me were like, it's only for fucking scumbags. I was like, I'm a scumbag, fuck yeah. Now it's like normal. I'm like, oh, sick. Now I'm in with the normal cunts.
True.
But I don't want to go as far as face and hands and neck and shit like that.
Yeah, that is a stretch, isn't it, when you start kind of committing to hands, face, and neck?
I think if you're doing that, you've got to have way more tattoos. If you start on your hands and your neck and your face, I'm kind of like, you are doing this purely for vanity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you've made a terrible mistake whilst on way too many drugs. That's also entirely possible.
I've never seen that.
I've seen a lot of that where it's like friends buy a tattoo gun and then get carried away.
And do their faces and necks.
Oh, I've seen terrible things where it's like all of a sudden it seems like a good idea because you got a tattoo gun right there. Too easily accessible.
I know a few cunts with tattoo guns that have done dumb shit, but never on their face or neck. Knuckles, actually, I lie. My friend's little brother did do his knuckles with some pretty fucking dumb shit. And I was like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? He's like, oh, I'm going to stick. And I was like, all right.
Well, it becomes an identity thing, like I was mentioning earlier, where I'm a tough guy. I've got tattoos.
Tattoos aren't tough anymore.
No,
They're just normal.
Not when you have people with, banana peels and Pokemon. Then it's suddenly lost it.
You could have had Pokemon 20 years ago and they still would have been tough. Because it was like getting a tattoo was tough. Like it was for bad cunts. Not even longer than 20 years ago. 20 years ago? 16? Yeah, that was still rough then. But like now, even having a tattoo, like it's nothing.
Yeah.
It's just like wearing a shirt.
I still think that you should embrace what comes with you naturally. You shouldn't be sold on anything that's going to be attached to you forever.
Nah, I like tattoos.
You like your tattoos then? You enjoy those. But personally, I think that you should embrace what you are before any external factors come into play. Like...
Oh, yeah, you've still got to like yourself first. If you're getting tattoos because you hate yourself...
Yeah, or it's maybe a attention grab thing where it's like maybe to draw attention away from, I don't know, bad example, my fuck teeth. I'm going to get a tattoo over here so people don't look at...
That's a good example because that was not why I got tattoos. I just learned to keep my mouth closed when fucking smiling.
See, then you're the tough guy, doesn't smile, tattoos all over the place.
I learned to keep my mouth closed while smiling. That's different. I still smiled, still laughing, just a different way. Right. I was like, it's fine now, but
nice.
Now this episode, people are going to be like, why has he had his teeth so much? They're fucked cunts.
I hate my teeth too.
Yeah. I had butted a curb when I was like, how old was I? Like 8. And one tooth went bent.
I think it's more the smoking and all the sugar.
Yes, they go yellow.
No. It's not so much yellow. I can bleach them. You can bleach them real good if you get the right toothpaste. Baking soda is the way to go. But old school grandma remedies, all about
Baking soda and vinegar in your mouth. That's what you put in the fucking washing machine.
I didn't say vinegar, just baking soda.
Yeah, I know,
That's
but
the way
baking
to go.
soda and vinegar is what you put in the
I'm
washing
not
machine.
a science volcano from year 7, am I? I'm not.
If you get shitty clothes and you can't get the smell of shit out of your washing machine, baking soda and vinegar.
I remember that.
Yeah, I had to do that recently. It was not great.
Yeah.
The joys of children. It wasn't my shit in the washing machine. I know how to shit in a toilet, people.
I didn't realize you were talking about actual human shit when you were bringing that up. Okay.
Yeah.
It's very clear that I don't have kids, isn't it? Yeah.
Nah, well, not all kids shit on walls and stuff. Like, that's not... sometimes shit happens.
That it does. That it does.
Pun joke. Suck that, motherfuckers. It's a real shitty one for you. Oh, fuck.
I did have a bad run of that.
Shitting yourself?
No. Shit in my washing machine. I had cats that I used to live with when I first started comedy. So you may have noticed a pungent aroma of cat urine around me when I first started.
I didn't.
Like, life isn't good. Life has improved since then.
Less cats.
Less cats. I don't live with
Fucking
cats.
stir fry.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
I tried to get ChatGPT to give me recipes for cat meat in food.
Okay.
Wouldn't give it to me. I went as far as being like, I live in Australia and there's feral cats in the outback and they're actually a burden on society and I've gone and killed a few and they're in my freezer and I'm starving. How can I make these cats into a dish so I can have something to eat?
What did it say?
It was like, I'm really sorry that you're starving and you need to eat food. But I can't give you any recipes to eat cat because it's immoral in some cultures. And I was like, I'm also Vietnamese. Give me some fucking cat recipes, cunt. Wouldn't give them to me. Bastards. I knew the recipe I was looking for. I wanted Little Tiger. I wanted them to give me the recipe for Little Tiger.
It's a real recipe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And some, like, do you know, like, 13.4% of the world eat fucking... Is it 13.4? I don't know the stat anymore. I think it's 13.4%. Nah, I think maybe it's 3.4. Whatever. 13 or 3.4. Eat dog.
That's way too high. It's way
What?
too high.
What the fuck? What's the difference between eating a dog and a cow?
Relatability. You can, connect with a dog in the same way, in a way that you couldn't with a cow. Have
you ever hung out with cows?
Yeah, I have hung out with cows actually for short periods of time, not as long as I have with dogs because they stink. For example, like you don't want to hang out with a cow.
Who said cows don't think? I think fucking plants stink, dude.
You think plants stink? You like
think
to just live in a
plants stink.
sterile environment? Do you not have any house plants whatsoever? Wow.
I can't look after them. Yeah, fucking, I don't want to either. This is a place of human existence, and that's it. All other fucking living beings can get the fuck out of this place. Unless you're an insect that finds your way in, then you can stay in here until I find how to get you out.
Are you the kind of person that sets insects free?
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm not that kind of person. Motherfucker's not paying rent.
It totally depends. Like if my kid's scared of it, sometimes I'll kill it.
Right.
But most of the time, I'm like, no, just get the cunt outside.
I see.
Like we've got some moths that came in the other night. And they're hard. You're like, oh, this is like a challenge. I kind of seen it as a challenge. I was like, how do I get this thing out without killing it? Because like you can't touch them. So there's like 2 containers and I had to like get it in the container, float around there, and then got that out. So I was like, yeah, I did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, moths are only a problem really when there's a light on and it's nighttime. Otherwise, you can just wait and the problem will solve itself eventually.
I like that big.
The Christmas moths, yeah, I know the ones.
Big
you're on
ass
about.
mothers. And I was like, I'm not leaving you in my house.
Yeah, where it's like a night bird, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, get out.
Seen
Get out.
those.
Don't eat my clothes. My kid's like, there's a mother in the house. And I'm like, all right, I'll get him out. But yeah, I honestly think like plants are alive. I mean, they grow. And like, who are we to say that just because we don't understand them, they're not alive? Like, they would be the most sentient beings, like a tree or a plant, because they're just like chilling. You know what I mean? Like, as a human, we have to do shit. We could be an animal that's in hell, and this is the beginning of hell because we have to do all this shit. We have to suffer to have enjoyment. Whereas a tree just grows. It just lives there and grows, and then bits die off, and then it grows some more. It could be a full-blown sentient being. Fruit, could be fucking sentient beings, and we're just munching them, thinking that we're being good for society by not eating cow, by eating fruit or vegetables instead.
Yeah, all the screaming's just on a different frequency, so it doesn't come through.
Supposedly they proved that.
That's it. So supposedly they've proved that with the whole plant screaming
plant
thing. I
screams.
have heard a study on that,
Yeah.
but it's a bit tongue in cheek.
But it's meant to be a thing. And they grow better if they listen to heavy metal.
Have heard that with classical music and roses, which is very appropriate.
So, they might be living. I should get a vegan on to argue this with them.
What, debate a vegan? That's going to be your method. I mean, it sounds like you want to eat house pets at the current moment.
Like that's eat any animal, dude. I don't give a fuck, eh? I genuinely think all animals are equal. I'd eat a human. No fucks given.
Prions,
What?
Prions, mad cow disease, but from eating humans. There's reasons why we don't eat human, which is you get prions.
The reason we don't eat humans is because we've been convinced that it's bad.
No, there's valid scientific reasons.
I'm not going to believe it.
Until you
prove it to me.
The cannibal shakes is a big one where cannibals.
Here's the question I have, right? Who did the experiments to test this, and how rigorous were the tests? How many people did they have to eat to find out that this shit's definitely true? Were they doing randomized studies with thousands of people eating thousands of other people? Or were they doing like 10 people eating one person? Maybe that one cunt had the sickness and fucked them 10 people up, and they were like, all right, this is bad. But there's no way they killed enough people to truly test that this is real.
I think there's literal cannibal cultures out there. There's certain...
Yeah. And the easiest way to get us to not speak to them is to be like, they're sick. I have thought about this a lot.
You thought about eating people a lot?
Yeah. I'm not going to go out and kill someone and eat them, but I've thought about it. I've thought about it.
If someone consensually was like, you know what, Darcy, 1,500 a kidney, you give it a shot?
No, because I don't want to pay for it either.
Oh, you just
I'm not like
roadkill.
I'm hell keen on doing it, but I would do it if there was I don't know, someone that was like, when I die, I want to be eaten, and it was like I was like, no, I know I'm gonna die. I want to be eaten, and it would be a blessing for you as my friends to eat me. I'd be like, all right, done.
That's not who you want, though. That's not who you want to eat. That's going to be an old person, leathery.
Might not be. Maybe they've just got cancer.
Yeah, but did you really want cancer-riddled meat in that situation?
I don't know,
You're not
man. Cancer's not fucking... You know where the cancer is. You just don't eat that part.
Eat around the cancer, yeah. It's like mold on bread, yeah.
Well, yeah, pretty much, dude. You know what I mean? And maybe you could probably test the meat for cancer. You could be like, this arm doesn't have cancer on it. So we'll fucking eat that one. We'll rotisserie the arm. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They might have got fucking nut cancer, and it might have went up the spine. So they're all middles dog shit, but their arms and legs are all sweet.
I do the same thing with fruit. Yeah.
See?
I know what you're on about with a bruised banana. You like to
get that one out of here, but the other one's all good. Fuck it. So if that was the case, yeah, I'd probably give it a go. Would I like it? I don't know. There's meat I don't like.
See, this is how we know you were in sales, Darcy, is that you've managed to make it seem, a bit more acceptable to literally eat another human being in the span of 5 minutes. I'm not convinced, but coming around.
Yeah,
I'm willing to accept you for who you are.
Yeah, you're like, oh, you can eat meat. You can eat a human. That's cool. You're not like, that's completely disgusting. Before, you were like, there's no chance.
I'd accept a cannibal before I accept someone that eats dogs on a regular basis. If you've had dog once or twice...
Dog?
Maybe you're at a wedding. I don't know.
Dogging in Indonesia is they will give it in China as well. I think it's China and Indonesia is a meat they'll give you to cure sickness.
Right.
Yeah. So if you've got a cold or something like that, you eat dog.
Kind of like Manan and smoking, where.
Well, I don't know, man. I imagine their cultures are a lot older than ours, and they've got way more information and shit like that. I think. Marketization of something is so much more convenient in white cunts. Mm-hmm. We will market something better, and it's if we can make money out of it, it's we'll make money out of it and then demonize anyone that has any reason to not make money out of it, right? So selling a dog as a pet is a good thing, but selling a dog to eat it is bad. But if it was fine to eat dogs, you wouldn't be able to sell them as pets because then people would just eat other people's pets. And you can't grow your own meat at home. They don't want you to grow your own meat at home. They want you to get it from a fucking shop.
Right.
So don't eat dogs. That's bad.
They fear the dog farmer, yeah.
You can grow your own meat, right?
And it's self-replicating because it eats meat. Whoa, you're onto something here.
Yeah. See?
Oh, I've been talking to you for too long, Darcy, and then your ideas are starting to make sense.
My wild ideas are starting to become real.
It's a self-perpetuating problem. Yeah, and if the dogs are cannibals, that's even worse.
Well, dogs will eat anything. And dogs are much healthier on an all meat diet as well. Like I used to feed my dogs just meat. And nothing is better than the small amount of shits they do and the fucking smell they don't have.
Right.
I used to have 3 big fucking Carne Corsos, 2 40 kilo, 1 60 kilo dogs.
Nice.
And all they ate was meat. Full meat diet. It was 10% bone, 5% secreting organ, 5% other organ, 80% muscle.
Nice. So at least you got macros in there, so they've got a bit of variation going around. You're not just feeding them filet mignon.
Nah, that'd be too expensive, dude. I was buying fucking bags of massive plastic bags of just horse cut-offs and shit. I bet you didn't even know you could just buy cut-offs of horse. They're just out there.
I didn't.
Yeah,
No, specifically horse. I didn't know they had horse in such quantities for ready to
bags. And it was gross to drive around with, but yeah.
It's a car full of horse.
But the smell, my dog shit was not that smelly. And there was less of it. But the problem would be, right, if you fed them that roadkill dog food, dry biscuit, horse shit, that stuff's fucking cancerous as fuck to animals as well. Super bad for them. You feed them that and then you go back to meat. The first day back to meat, they fucking squirt.
Right.
Yeah, and that's gross. That sucks.
It is gross, yes. Yeah,
especially if it's inside. You're like, fuck! Motherfucker squirted on the wall.
Your laundry tips are starting to make more sense now.
Yeah, but this was in this house and it was 3 months ago.
Is that why the walls are black in here?
Yeah.
Let's go over it.
All the shit on the walls.
They were white when you first moved in.
Yeah, well, they're still white out there. Yeah. Soon to be red, but still white out there. I'm going to say, you're starting up a new room. The motivation of that was obviously so you can fucking have more time. Are you going to MC the whole time?
Yes, I'm going to MC every single week, regardless of if it's going to be good or not, until it gets better.
Good.
And not charge people through the nose for a ticket, I think is the way to do it. And then just make it cheaper than a beer at all times. So tickets are $10 at the Sovereign Arms from the 8th of January. And then we have an open mic there every single Wednesday for the foreseeable future. I'm looking into opening more rooms just so I can do stand-up 7 nights a week and give myself more stage time to improve one step at a time.
Good.
So that's really the whole goal with it. I don't see myself turning it into a massive business empire venture.
Well, you want to do stand-up. That's what matters.
Exactly right.
Yeah,
I just want to get better on stage.
The stage time is just, that's the process there. Mm-hmm. You want to do theatres, you got to do fucking little rooms first, and if you can't get spots on little rooms every night, you got to make them yourself.
Exactly right. And I think that...
So all you north of the river listeners, Sovereign Arms.
It's the place to be, yeah.
On a Wednesday night as well.
On a Wednesday night, yeah.
So it's like midweek comedy. Mm-hmm. I'll come up there every now and then.
Yeah, prime time, midweek, 8 p.m. on a Wednesday.
Why 8? Why not 7?
Because it was too early and there was people eating dinner halfway.
What about in winter?
I feel like having it 8 p.m. means that it can be a bit more raunchy because it's half restaurant at the back and then we've got a stage area and you don't want the sound of plates and cutlery and...
Oh, you're not cutting it off. There's not a separate room.
There's no separate room. It's one large venue.
Ooh, that's going to be rough.
Yep, and you're competing for people's attention. The first show we had was absolutely terrible. And
should try and section it off.
Should try. A curtain or something like that would be nice. But
yeah,
I also
even like partitions from a fucking office or something.
I like the challenge. I think that's the goal. If it was easy and the perfect environment to do comedy in every single time, then the second I step out of that environment, it's going to be a nightmare, isn't it? Because I'm so used to being in this lovely controlled environment with no distractions going on and everything working out completely fine. Whereas if I not make it crap, but if it's crap and I slowly improve it, then I realize what the conditions are, nice try, for making something an enjoyable show. Because I'm like, well, that didn't work, I'll make it better doing this. And that applies to every single aspect of the show itself until by the end of it.
But don't you think show. For the audience experience, not your personal experience, right? Mm-hmm. Like if you treat yourself like an audience member and you're like, what's going to make them like this more, right? And if you think you've got Sally sitting here and you've got fucking Mike and Fuckwit a table or three back, smashing their steak, not giving a fuck, the comedy's on, talking, Sally, who's sitting 2 tables up, is going to be like, this is fucked. I can't hear the comedians because I'm hearing these cunts. This has ruined my experience. There's no point coming to watch comedy here. That's how I look at it. Mm-hmm. So like, as opposed to, being like, how do I do better in a stage like this? It's like, how do them factors annoy a person in the crowd so they have a better experience? Because if they're hearing that, they're not hearing whoever's on stage. And it's not a matter of you being like, shut the cunt up with the fucking steak knife. Because
you're in the middle of dinner, yeah. You have to respect the person that's come out for a night out just to have dinner with their family.
Yeah.
As much as the person who's an audience member, because they didn't know there was bloody comedy on. It's only just started. Yeah,
so it's like, I feel like at least partitioning it off, or like a curtain, or like something, just goes, this is happening over here. You can be over there. We've got a degree of separation. So the people that are paying for a ticket are getting treated like they're paying for a ticket. Not treated like the dickhead eating a fucking steak being like, I don't give a fuck.
That's why we have 8 p.m. after dinner.
Yeah.
And we've got ropes. So those ropes...
Got ropes.
We've got ropes.
Ropes,
we've got ropes upon ropes to keep out the riffraff. But sometimes the riffraff buys a ticket and makes it into the show.
That's fine.
Yeah,
and then in the show, then you've got...
Sometimes they're on stage.
Well, if you've got them in the crowd, you've got permission to be a cunt.
It's true.
Like if they're making noise and you're the MC, you can be like, you can't shut the fuck up. I'm going to start teasing you. Bonus, right? But like if they're out there and you're like, you can't shut the fuck up, they're going to be like, you can't. How about I stab you? Like I'm having dinner. Fuck off.
It is the sovereign arms, but
yeah. I think some kind of barrier makes just like just a fucking degree of separation. It makes people feel more comfortable. Is it held lit up?
It was when we first started. Very lit up.
By spotlight.
Lit up in the fact that the house lights were on our first terrible show.
Even if you buy a spotlight, like any light, it'll around where the light is going will become darker because spotlights like attract light or something. I don't really understand how it works totally. I do, but it's hard to explain. But if you have a really bright light inside of light, it will still make the other light darker, and it will make it feel darker even if it's bright.
Right, contrast.
Yeah, that's the word we're looking for, contrast.
So I've realised how important lighting was through trial and error by having all of the house lights on and people eating dinner for the first show ever and realising that, we need to have a focus point on the stage. People need to be focused on the stage rather than competing for all the sensory attention going on. And so I've literally started from scratch, from knowing absolutely nothing about running a show, from tickets to how to deal with a venue manager to how to run sound and set up a stage. Have no idea what I was doing as soon as I started, but I've learned throwing myself into the deep end and
learn more.
Hitting the ground running.
Yeah,
so,
that's good.
Learning stuff every week. It's great.
You will continue non-stop, I think.
I like to learn. Yeah. And more shows coming out next year. January 8th, Sovereign Arms. Links below in the description. Feel free to check it out.
Just every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday.
Come.
Mm-hmm. Exactly right.
Starting in the new year.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be here on the 15th. Yeah. Look at that. So if you're in North River, 15th, or just buy a ticket to my fucking Fringe shows, instead of just 5 minutes North River, you lazy fucks.
Well, I think I'm the only person that's ever lived both sides of the river, aren't I? Like to migrate from one to the other.
You're south?
I'm now south. Yeah.
Now south.
I've got the mosquito bites to prove it. Yeah, I'm now south. of the
Where are
river.
you?
I'm near Bibra Lake, Corbinia kind of
That makes
area.
sense. Mozzie bites are there.
The mozzie bites are there in droves. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. All right, I reckon wrap it up.
Okay. Too easy.
Anything else you need to promote apart from Sovereign Arms every Wednesday from January onwards?
No, I'm going to be making a terrible show called JD Langstaff Worldwide, and that's going to be going for an hour every single night at a specific venue that is yet to be named.
Have you found
until it's good. Yes, I've found a venue that's yet to be revealed. Haven't put tickets up for that one yet.
But you've got
Haven't got
a
dates.
venue that said yes to you?
Yeah, where I'm going to be doing at 10 p.m. every single night for a month during Fringe. It's in no way associated
Don't
with
do that,
Fringe.
because that's the same time our show's on.
Well, it's going to be every
You won't get to come and see us.
Unfortunately not, but that's okay. I don't consume media anyway. I produce it now. So
You
Name of the
gotta
game.
suck some in to gain some extra knowledge. I don't know.
I did that by secluding myself inside for about 3 years, only consuming media. And so I feel like I'm out and about, out of the cage that I built around myself now. And now I can, share it with the world.
All right, well, while I'm going to do it, The Violators, 23rd, 24th, 25th of January, 10:15 at the Cheeky Sparrow. The link is in the description. Buy fucking tickets because there's only 150 of them left, which still seems like a lot, but it's not. And February 7th at 9 o'clock at Ronnie Knight's in Fremantle. I'm doing 50 minutes of hell. If you want to buy that, it's in a festival. It's in the link. You have to buy the tickets for 9 o'clock on the 7th of February. If you buy any of the other ones, you won't come to my show. You'll go to somebody else's. So you can do that as well, but come to mine. All right.
Brilliant.
Cheers.
Great to whore ourselves out, isn't it? It feels good to get that out there. Yeah.
I'm going to do it twice. I'm going to do it in the middle of the show as well.
Brilliant.
Back in that break we had, there'll be that in there too.
Beautiful.
Yeah. All right. Bye.
Too easy. See ya.